everyone, welcome back to Expert Travel with Erin, and thank you, Just Sam, for your comment. So we are going to answer the benefits of different ticket add-ons, the memory maker, the dining plan. So sit down, buckle up, lower the tray table because we're going to talk about a lot. All right, so we're starting off, we're looking at this quote that I did the other day for a family of 4. So the first screen that you're going to see and the first kind of things that you need to think about when planning a Disney World vacation is ticket number of days and ticket type. So number of days, you know, this family is going to be there for technically 5 days, 4 nights. And so really when we were talking, arrival day is kind of hard, especially with the time that they're planning on getting there. So 4 days is going to be great for them. That's what they plan to do. The next stop down is the ticket type. So there is 1 park per day, there is park hopper, there is water and sports, and then there's park hopper plus. So there's a big difference between these 4. So 1 park per day is pretty exactly as it sounds. You get 1 park per day. You start at Magic Kingdom, you end your day at Magic Kingdom. That is not necessarily a bad thing, especially with a younger family like this one. I know I have my own 6-year-old, so it's prone to nap time, going back to cool down in the summer or in the heat of Florida in general. The next option down, park hopper. You can start your day at Magic Kingdom and then hop on the monorail to go to Epcot for lunch or dinner and enjoy that, or the vice versa. And any of the 4 parks you can hop to. There are people who do all the 4 parks in one day with the hopper. Not something I recommend for this family in particular, but is something that you can do. The next option after that is a water park and sports. So 2026, you still do get entry to the water parks on your arrival day. However, this park option, the water park and sports option, you get to go to the water parks anytime during your stay. So I know a lot of people have a struggle with getting there early enough to make the free water park entry worth it. It's still a great time. We utilized it back in October when we went. And it's, you know, if you have water babies, like my son's a water baby, he kept asking to go back to the water park. It's a great option for you. The sports option is also access to their worldwide net of sports. So the next option under that encapsulates the all of them. So you get water park, sports, you get to go hop to all the parks. The big difference is obviously, as you can kind of see, is the price. So park tickets will always be a bit dynamically priced, but we're looking at, you know, after the park per day ticket to get the water and sports options, it's about a $75 flat fee per person per ticket. Park hopper options usually go between dynamically around $75 to $100 in the season. It depends on how long you go and the season that you go in. And that's the same for the park hopper plus option. It's dynamically priced probably between $90 and $135 depending on the season that you go and the length of your stay. So when talking with this family in particular, they have serial nappers and they want to take a break during their day, so they're going to go with the 1 park per day. They've been to Disney before, so they're happy to take it kind of slow and enjoy their time at 1 park per day, which is fine because when you stay on resort, it's easy to take the bus or the Skyliner or the many modes of transportation to go back to your resort, refresh, relax, and then head back in the evening for evening shows, evening fireworks, and be more refreshed to enjoy those rather than staying from rope drop to those evening items. So the next thing that we're going to go to here, as soon as the screen loads, there we go, thank you, is the dining plan. So this is the next thing that you need to look at when you're doing your Disney World vacation. Right now, they are offering free dining, kids ages 3 to 9. Kids under 3 eat free when you get the dining plan already. And there's 2 options. There is the quick service dining plan and then the regular dining plan. And the breakdown difference between those 2 things is quick service. You are only getting quick service for your meals. So those are, you go up to the counter, you order your food, they either notify you or call your number at the end, you go pick it up, you go sit down. Some of these places will be indoor, some of these places, like Woody's Lunchbox, Lunchbox in Hollywood studios is notorious for being outside and not a lot of umbrella stands. So quick service meals can be really great. They're still a great quality. The chicken tenders for kids of all ages are wonderful, but you get quick service meals, your snacks, your refillable drink mug, which is only good at your resort. You can refill it at the water stations, which I know a lot of people do. And then the dining plan is counter service and table sit down. And obviously your snacks and refillable mug as well. So instead of just having to stick to counter service options, you have the option to do sit downs like Cinderella's Castle, though that is more than one table service, as is a more expensive experience. So there are certain, and we can dive into this, but there are certain character experience dining things that cost more than one dining credit, and if you choose to do that, it's a really great way to use the dining plan. I encourage people to try to use one dining point per experience. Tusker House is a really good example of that. It's a character meat and good food, good quality. But it really just depends on what you want to use your time for your vacation. I have a lot of families who don't want to waste time at a sit-down meal, and they might choose one just to do a character experience like at Chef Mickey's or at Cinderella's Castle. It's totally up to you. That's a huge what is your must-do conversation that we can have later. But right now we're just kind of focusing on the things that you add on to your Walt Disney World vacation. So if you plan to do Disney, you need to ask yourself these questions when trying to decide the dining plan. So first of all, do you have kids under the age of 9? Because then it is really worth it for you because your kids are eating for free. If you yourself are, you tend to gravitate towards the more expensive items like steak, seafood, things like that, yourself, then the Disney dining plan, not the quick service, might save you some money in the long run. Or another reason I have a lot of families do it is they want it to feel like an all-inclusive package. And that is what the Disney dining plan really provides at the end of the day, is more of you're not having to worry about while you're there looking at everything. And if you plan ahead of time and you plan your restaurants and you can maximize the dining plan to benefit you. That's a whole other series. That's just kind of my quick 2-bit sense on the dining plan. I think right now, especially with the promo, it's worth it for families with kids under 9. It's worth it if you want to be all-inclusive, and it's worth it if, especially as an adult, you tend to gravitate towards those more expensive items at the sit-down restaurants. So as of right now, as of this video, the quick service dining is about the difference between quick service and full dining is about $40-ish per person. So that is another thing that you have to consider when you're looking at your vacation. So we will move on from dining after Woody gives us a little think. To our last kind of page here. When you get to the checkout page, you will have several more options to look at, and one of them is, and what Sammy asked in her comment, is the memory maker. So for those of you that don't know what the memory maker is, when you go to Disney, you'll have tons of opportunities for pictures, and I mean pictures at the castle, I mean pictures at every single park, pictures with character meet and greets, character interactions at the dining experiences. And what the memory maker does is when there is a photo pass opportunity, so a cast member with a camera, you can tap your Magic Band, or if you get a card, it will link that photo to your My Disney Experience account. So if you don't buy the memory maker, the pictures will still go to your account, and you can pay per picture or pay per day. And the memory maker is you pay for the entire time you are going to be there. You get all the photos you take with a Photo Pass member. You get all your ride photos and video. There are several rides that do videos now, like Tower of Terror, Tron, Seven Dwarf Mine Train. You get all of those included when you buy them with the memory maker, which if you do it before your trip, you save a little money versus like when you're there. And that's to encourage you to do it beforehand. obviously. So is the memory maker worth it as a ticket add-on? I have added it almost every single time. The only time I didn't was when I went on my honeymoon, and we ended up buying at least one day, if not 2 days, of our photo passes, specifically from rides, and my husband loves this story. I do not like the Tower of Terror. I never have. It traumatized me as a 4-year-old. But my husband had never been, so I was like, we're going to experience everything together. And the picture, if I can find it, I will put it up on screen. He is super excited, and he said we have to buy that picture, which is why we bought that entire day's worth. Us as honeymooners, we were taking lots of selfies and things like that. And that's another thing. If you're at a PhotoPass experience, you can ask the PhotoCast cast member to take your phone and take a picture with your phone. So really, the memory maker is more for those ride experiences and things like that, because obviously on a ride, you can take a picture of the picture on the little TV screens when you get off the ride. It's just not as good quality, and it's not as fun. And the videos are really cool, especially for light cycle run. So is it worth it? That's really up to you. I kind of look at how many opportunities are we going to do things for character experiences, for family pictures, like in front of the castle. I have bought it both times that we've taken our son. The first time I got around 32-ish photos, and not including the videos from the rides. The second time that we went this past October, I probably got triple that from the rides and character experiences. So the second time was probably a lot more worth it than the first time we took our son. So it's entirely up to you. It's a discussion that we can talk about if you like. But yeah, you can always hand your phone to a PhotoPass member if that is what you would choose to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of smartphones nowadays that have great cameras. So to kind of bring it back, we have talked about the different ticket options for your stay. We have talked about the Disney dining plan, and we have talked about the memory maker. So these are all parts that you should be thinking about when you're planning your Walt Disney World vacation, and how you're going to approach your stay, your must-dos. If you've got a short stay, a park hopper might be the option for you in general, because it offers you so much flexibility, and not everything happens on the nights that you're going to be there. A great example of that is when we last went, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party was going on. There was only one weeknight where they were doing the normal parade and evening fireworks, because the rest of the week was Mickey's Halloween Party, which is a separately ticketed event. And so if we hadn't had the park hopper, we wouldn't have been able, because that day we were in Hollywood Studios. If we hadn't had the park hopper, we wouldn't have been able to hop over to Magic Kingdom to see the normal evening parade and the normal evening fireworks, even though it was super, super busy, because it was the only weeknight of the non-special ticketed event. So park hopper can offer you really great flexibility in that aspect, in the aspect of your restaurant reservations. I've had a lot of families run into, we really want to do Le Cellier, or we really want to do Cinderella's Castle. And if you don't have a park hopper ticket, and we're doing your dining reservations, there might be a Cinderella's Palace available on Tuesday, but Tuesday is your Animal Kingdom day, and if you're one park per ticket day, you cannot go into Cinderella's Castle just because you have a dinner reservation there. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. So when you're addressing these things, when you're building out your itinerary, when you're building out your plan, I always encourage people to think about several things. Your must-dos, and I try to ask everybody to keep that to 5 and under. So if it's your kid's first trip, what is important for you as a family? What do they enjoy? Are they princesses? Are they Star Wars? Do you think that fireworks are going to overwhelm them? Do they need a nap during the day? Or are they good to kind of go, go, go? And then when you're considering the dining plan, how do you guys eat? Are you good with just grabbing counter services? Do you need to sit down to relax, or do you gravitate towards those sit down experiences? Are you wanting to maximize character interactions through character meals? These are all questions that seem overwhelming, but the more that you think about them and the more that you take time to kind of process them, with a travel advisor or a friend who's been a lot. Like before I became a travel advisor, I had friends, neighbors, people, colleagues at work who would come to me and be like, this is a lot, I'm overwhelmed. And I totally understand. But thinking about those kind of things before you go is what helps make that experience that much more magical. And a lot of the time, I will see things online of people who are disappointed with their stay, because they didn't spend a lot of time understanding the things that would make it a lot better for them before they go. And that's not entirely their fault. If you want a vacation where you can just book and go, that's great. I want you to do that. Disney World is not, unfortunately, one of those places that can so easily be done, unless, maybe you're just okay with just kind of popping in and going with the flow, and you don't care if you get reservations these places or if you don't get on all the rides. And I know people like that. One of my best friends is like that. She just wants to go for the vibes, and that's great. But understanding what you want out of the Disney World trip will help you navigate all of these different ticket add-ons and all of these different choices that you have to make. And should you use a travel advisor for that? Obviously, I would love to help you, and other travel advisors would love to help you as well. But sit down with your group, especially if they're all adults. If they're kids, just kind of take into consideration what the kids enjoy in general, and talk about your must-dos and start planning it out from there. So Sammy, I hope I answered your question. If you have any questions below, I would love to make follow-up videos on them. And until next time.